Oh, hey there. How are you? Oh, I'm out of focus. What's up, everyone? I hope everyone is well. Today, I'm going to do a trade recap. And the reason that I'm doing that is because one, you asked for it, you really asked for it. And two is I normally do these in my live streams on Saturday and Sunday, but because today this week I've been traveling and I'm going to be here for some time, I'm not able to stream. And while I'm not able to stream, I will be making sure that at least I do this part of the stream, which is going over the trades that I've taken. So if you appreciate that, I appreciate you too. You thought I was going to ask for a subscribe, right? No, you only do that if you think the content is worth it. So let's jump straight into the recap. It was a nice week. I had a couple of winning trades, couple of losing trades, and yeah, overall it was a great week. So let's jump into it. Okay, we can start off directly with Euro US dollar. We see that I was in this trade, which I even got in the day in the live video. I basically showed every step of the trade, and if I just break it down a little bit, you can easily see that I had this rectangle drawn for a long time. And what happened is, like, we tested this rectangle so many times. So to me, this was acting like a really good inflection point. And what happened afterwards this week was that we were approaching the top of the rectangle quite ascendingly. And this is beautiful. Then we had an inside bar. We broke the high and we started really impulsing down, and this impulse down is absolutely beautiful. Like this impulse down and this impulse down. This not so much because it has the wick, but this impulse down was beautiful. And as soon as this candle was over, I wanted to set the trade. I only set the trade here in this candle because I was driving to the airport on this candle, but it was fine because I did not get tagged before. So I got tagged in 1 hour after I set the entry. Everything was recorded in the day in the live, so if you want to watch that. And then it really started impulsing down, and we broke this previous low, which was right here. We broke this low, and if you know how I trade, then you also know that if we break the low, then I'm going to manage the trade but above the most recent high, which in this case, the most recent high was right here. So what ended up happening is that I took a smaller loss. I used a 12 pip stop, and I took a 4.8 pip loss, which is 4.8 divided by 12. That's a 0.4% loss, and that's perfectly fine because then CPI data came out and we really started impulsing up. And it was interesting because this is what I saw on the live stream with Quiche on Wednesday, which if you watched it, I first of all appreciate you because the quality was quite low, and if you still ended up watching it, I really appreciate you. And what ends up happening is that we break this high clearly. We really start impulsing out of this range, and because of that, I was like, I want to enter in the first possible trade long, and it ended up happening just the night after, which was we have the impulse up, start to range a little bit, and then we just break the low and we retrace. After this break of the low, I actually woke up because here it was 5 a.m. and I saw this candle moving a little bit up with momentum. I saw this filled candle and I was like, God damn it. And I entered just a little bit after, so I entered like, that's why my entry is a little bit more above. Then it started moving down. I entered with the 15 pip stop, and the reason for that is that we had such a big impulse that to me it was possible that we could start range around here. So we could start like ranging more, and because of that I wanted to have my stop loss a little bit more protected, and that's why I used a 15 pip stop. And then once again we break the high. If I go back, you see that we broke this high very impulsively. Then we form a wick. After the wick we start ranging a little bit. And what ends up happening is we break the high again, we lock in some profits, which in this case was a 0.43%, and then we get taken out for the 0.43. It was interesting because as we had a full candle right here on euro dollar, I was looking to go short, but this candle really retraced at the end of the hour, so that was unfortunate. I was really looking forward to a short here, but it is what it is. And then we ended up just ranging a little bit and moving down. So yeah, that's what we have for this week. Now for this week, because we had this nice beautiful ascending channel here too, we had this ascending channel right here, and then we have this solid impulse down. I'm actually looking to see if I can enter in a trade here, which means that I'm looking to see if this ranges a little bit and then it gives me a retrace. If that happens, then I'm definitely entering short on Euro US dollar. Euro Japanese Yen. So Euro Japanese Yen, this was a missed trade actually. I did not enter in this trade, which is unfortunate. I was not ready for the trade. I can tell you that the reason that I didn't enter was because I was not ready, which is very important. This is something to ASR, and because I missed the trade, I need to ASR it, explain why it didn't happen, and then avoid that happening again. But yeah, basically what I saw in this trade that I did not take was this nice like range, like this is messy price action, I would say, but then you really start moving down with quite a bit of momentum. Then we range around a little bit. What put me off was like these wicks and this descending channel and break of the high and retrace, like this range here really put me off, but then it really impulsed down. And this is something that Euro Japanese Yen loves to do, which is having dumb price action and then a very quick trade that turns out very profitably. So yeah, I should have entered, but that is fine. It was running at a 0.7%, but for now people only have 0.45% locked in. Now, Aussie US dollar, this was more of a valid trade, but I will go over it of course. It was a full 1% loss, but to me it was an acceptable trade. So what happened on Aussie US dollar is that we started really first breaking out of this channel right here that we had these double tops and so on, and then we started impulsing up, correcting sideways, impulsing up very impulsively, correcting sideways, impulsing up. So what I want to do is to be part of one of these impulses again, and because of that I wanted to enter long. And what ended up happening is that we had this very nice candle that impulses up, and I wanted to enter, so I set my entry, and then this candle happened, which was not a very bullish candle really, but afterwards this gave it away for myself, which was we had this candle and then we had a counter trend move. And now if we move back down, if we were to move back down to here, then this would mean that we had a combo. We had a possible flag and a possible pullback, because if this were to happen, then we would also have a flag. So I was even more happy with this trade, and what ends up happening is that it tags me in. It really retraces out of it, which was really nice to see, because it reassured me that it was not a bad trade, because we got the reaction out of it. We then almost break the high. If we would have broken the high, I would have reduced my loss to 0.3%, but it didn't happen, and it's fine. And then we started moving down and I got tagged out, but it is what it is. I will need to maybe review this trade a little bit more, but for now it is a trade that I would take over and over again, and that's why I took it and I like it. And yeah, last but not least, let's go on to Aussie Japanese Yen. Okay, so Aussie Japanese Yen, this was the big boy trade basically. We had a very nice solid impulse down right here. We had a very nice solid impulse down that comes from an ascending channel, which basically what I saw is that we had not this ascending channel. This wasn't something that I was watching, but the fact that I will explain. We have this followed by this small ascending channel here, like basically almost like an ascending within the ascending, and we come from a very nice impulse down, which kind of shows me that the sentiment is bearish. And then because we never were able to break the high, we would break the high and we would retrace in range, break the high, and then we started impulsing down. And what gave it away for myself was that these all three of these candles were very, very solid candles. And then we basically just broke the low and I got tagged in. Now, this trade was indeed very aggressive because the low was right here. It just broke it. It maybe broke it with a pip. But the reason I also entered in it was because, one, I liked the setup, and two, if anything were to happen, it would be a hedge against my Aussie dollar position too, which is not something that we look at, and we normally don't even look at correlation, but it was something that was on my mind and that increased my confidence in the trade overall. And then I almost got tagged out. I didn't use a 12 pip stop simply because I thought that it was looking way too small for an average setup. I was seeing this as being way too small, so I decided to go with 15. So I go with 15. Luckily, I didn't get greedy or something, and then it started really impulsing down. I was able to lock in profits, and then it was simply impulsing down and impulsing down. Right at the end of the hour of the market open, I got tagged out right here for a 7.08% trade. It was a really good trade. There was no possibilities of scaling in, really. You could have entered here, but it wasn't really something I was looking at because you had the double wicks, the flag was very ugly, so it was not something I was looking at. And then we continue impulsing down and we just form a descending channel right here and then tag me out. It then retraced in our favor, but again, I'm very happy with the trade. Nice 7% trade, and that's basically it. So if we sum it all up, basically on euro dollar we had a 0.43% trade and a 0.4% loss. So these cancel each other out for a 0% win on euro US dollar. Euro Japanese yen, this is a missed trade, so nothing right here for myself. Aussie US dollar, we had a minus 1% trade, which could have almost been a 0.3% loss, but it's completely fine. Minus 1% on Aussie US dollar and a 7.08% on Aussie Japanese yen, meaning that we finished the week for a total of 6.8%, 6.08%, which was a really good week. Let's see and remain prepared for next week. Let's see if I avoid the mistake that I did on Euro Japanese yen, that it doesn't happen again. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to take some value from it and understand why I entered in these trades. Let me know if you want me to do more of these trade recaps down in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe if you think it's worth it. Leave a like if you think it's worth it. And I will see you next week. And thank you for your patience.